Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Folaliving. This is your first time stopping by, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by again. I'm wearing the same outfit as my last video. I'm not sure which you're gonna see first, but today I'm gonna be talking about how to apply for reconsideration after your Canada visa has been refused. If you're new here, in case you don't know, when I applied for my permanent residency in Canada, it was initially refused. And I applied for a reconsideration and it was opened in like, I don't remember how many weeks. It was later approved. When I filmed that video, apparently a lot of you liked that video, but I also got a lot of questions regarding, oh Fola, talk us through how we're going to apply for reconsideration. I've been refused. How can I apply for reconsideration? So today I'm going to walk you through how I did apply for reconsideration. So I'm not going to say that this is the rule or it's the formula or this is how to apply for reconsideration, especially because it's not on Canada's website on how to do it. So I feel like everybody just freestyles it. I kind of freestyled my own. I did some research. I see people that have done it. I read up on how they did it. I fine-tuned it to how I would like mine to look like. And fortunately for me, thank God, it worked. So I'm going to share with you how I did my own, things that I put into consideration before doing my own. And hopefully, in case your visa was refused and you feel like you want to apply for reconsideration, it will work for you too. So if you're interested in this video, let's get started. So when my visa got refused, my first thing that I did was understand why I have been refused. My first point is literally understand why you have been refused. To be able to tackle the refusal and apply for reconsideration, you have to understand, okay, what is this visa officer saying? Why have they refused my visa? Tell me, what have I done wrong? Sometimes this might mean applying for a GCMS note, but those ones take so long. I personally, when I got refused, I applied for a GCMS note, but I did not wait till I got one before I applied for reconsideration, because a GCMS note can take a month, sometimes 3 months. And I heard it even takes longer these days. But understand why you have been refused. And now that you know why you have been refused, it is easier to apply for a reconsideration if you think the visa officer has made an error. If you also think that the visa officer has omitted an information that you submitted and have made a decision based on the fact that that information is missing, you can apply for reconsideration. So if you submit your job letter and they're telling you you've been refused because you did not provide that letter and you're convinced that you did, you can apply for reconsideration. If you also feel that the error that you made can be easily clarified, I would say you can apply for reconsideration. But the ultimate thing is that if you're really convinced within you that you deserve to get approved and you deserve this chance for your PR, student permit, anything, I would say apply for reconsideration. I said there's no rule to it. If you're convinced and you really know that you deserve to get this thing you've applied for, just submit a reconsideration form. In my own situation, I knew an error was made and I knew that I deserved it. Like, I was convinced that I deserved it. I still had doubts at the back of my head and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna apply for reconsideration. So that's my first point. The second point that I have is, and this is very case dependent, gather documents to prove your point. Gather documents to support your claim that they've made an error or that they've omitted an information. In our situation, I think I submitted documents of 12 pages. So a little background to me, my PR was refused because the visa officer thought that I studied for 1 year and 4 months. So I applied for AIPP. For AIPP International Graduates, you have to have studied for at least 2 years. He saw my transcript, he or she, I don't know the agenda or they saw my transcript and assumed that I only did my thesis for 4 months, and they assumed that it was not full-time, and that is why my visa was refused. And now for the documents that I submitted to prove that what they thought and what they were thinking or the decision they made was wrong, I'm gonna read them out to you. The first thing that I submitted was a new letter from my university that says that I studied full-time. It stated that my thesis was for a minimum of 1 year. The letter also explained a lot of the thought process that the visa officer had that were wrong. And I also got a new letter from my thesis supervisor that says that she supervised my thesis, and I did my thesis from December of 2018 to June of 2019, which definitely is not 4 months. That's about 10 months. So I also got a letter signed by my thesis supervisor. So my letter from my thesis supervisor explained that. The letter from the university explained that. So when I wanted to defend my thesis in June, university gave me a letter from the Department of Graduate Studies. It's a notification letter that I gave to people that you can come for my thesis on this date by this point, or you can click this link to join it. So that as a date, I showed that to like, okay, I did my thesis defense in June. I also had a notification of thesis defense letter that I signed, my thesis supervisor signed, and my external supervisor signed, and it was dated, which was way past the date they thought I studied. They thought I finished studying December of 2018, but this thesis letter was dated 2019. So all of that is proving the point that this girl did not study for 4 months in the second year. I got screenshots from my university's website saying that my thesis takes a minimum of 1 year. I also got email exchanges that I sent to other professors that I wanted to collect data in their class, which was in 2019. I submitted another email, screenshot of another email that I sent to the library that, okay, this is my final thesis, and the library was telling me, the representative from the library was telling me, congratulations, now you've completed your graduate studies, which was in June of 2019. And I think the final screenshot that I sent was a public library where it shows that my thesis was published and the date it was published. So doing all of these things and submitting all of these documents, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I went overboard, but it worked for me. I would rather give you over information than under information. That's just for me. But one thing I made sure in submitting all of these things was that it was cohesive. There is no date that is clashing with another one. If my school is saying this girl submitted a thesis June 9, my professor is saying the same thing. The library screenshot is saying the same thing. So all of this, I'm trying to tell the visa officer that this decision you've made based on the fact that you think this girl, which is me, didn't study for 2 years, she only studied for 1 year and 4 months, is wrong. She studied for 1 year actually and 10 months, which is way above 2 years of academic, because 2 year academic is 16 and I studied for what? 8 plus 10, 18 months. So that the documents that I gathered ready to submit for my reconsideration. When I had my document, it was time to submit a web form. So like I said, there's no structured reconsideration form or anything that you have to fill. It's just a web form, regular web form, like you're asking for a question. So it was time to submit a web form. And I decided that this was where I was going to maybe not sell my story, but introduce my problem, introduce the issue so they can get a little preview into it. This was 1,500 letters, which is a problem. 1,500 letters is not a lot. So for this web form, when you're writing the document, you have to ensure that you are capturing why you deserve this reconsideration to happen. Why do you deserve that your application be opened again for reconsideration? That is some of the things that it was in my head when I was writing this web form before attaching the document. And I'm gonna read out mine just for you guys to have an idea of what it is. Maybe it can help you write yours. Give me a moment, I'm gonna grab my computer so I can read mine out. Okay, so the title of the web form that I submitted is Application for Permanent Residence in Canada Reconsideration. And I'm gonna start. It says, following my application for permanent residency with application number blank, I am writing that you kindly reconsider the decision. Next paragraph. My application was refused on the basis of the transcript. This is in quotation, so I'm quoting the visa officer. The transcript you provided shows 1 full year of studies, 2017 to 2018, and a thesis which lasted for 1 semester, 2018. You therefore did not complete full-time studies for full 2 years, as is required under the stream of the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Programs. full stop. So I'm saying you refused my application on this basis. And then in the next paragraph, I decided to tell them why this is wrong. And I said, I would like to explain that I completed 2 full academic years while studying for my MA in Communications degree at Mount St. Vincent University. I started my first academic year in September 2017. During this time, I took 8 courses as listed in the transcript. For my second year, which lasted between September 2018 and June 2019. So what I've done in that paragraph is I made sure to emphasize that my second year did not just last from September to December 2018. My second year lasted from September 2018 to June 2019. In the usual fashion of my degree, I registered and paid my thesis in September 2018. This registration covers a period of 12 months. And if thesis isn't completed within this period, a registration is required. However, it took me between September 2018 and June 2019 to study, write, conduct my survey, and defend my thesis. So I already told them that the money that I paid in September of 2018 already covers 1 year. It is if I don't finish within that 1 year that I now have to register again. So, but because I finished within that 1 year, there was absolutely no need for me to register again in January, which is the information that the visa officer thought they were missing. And I'm clarifying this for them. And in the next paragraph, I said, I've also attached the letter from the registrar and my thesis supervisor, confirming that my thesis lasted from September 2018 to June 2019. Also, my thesis and date it was completed is public on the MSVU Library e-Commons website. So you see, I'm now referring to the documents that I've attached to this web form. And my final paragraph was, I would appreciate if my application is reopened and these evidences are taken into consideration. Simple, easy, 1,500 words. And this was what I submitted. And guys, let me tell you something. I got an email like how many weeks later, and I don't remember the timeline so much, but I got a response through web form that they forwarded my information to the visa officer. And I think within 2 weeks, my application was reopened. They called my employer and all of that. Saying I did the best thing, but I'm just saying I sold my story to them. I was able to convince the visa officer that you maybe had a little oversight. It's okay to have an oversight, but I know what I did, and this is clarification for it. Now I'm gonna say, if you feel that way, if you're strongly
to discuss the plans for the semester.
Sorry.
So not the questions.
So I'm gonna say, if you feel strongly about your application being refused and you feel like you can also salvage it and you can explain your way out of it, absolutely write that web form, attach document, and show that you deserve that reconsideration. What's the next thing I'll say? The next thing is just to hope and pray. When I submitted my web form for reconsideration, it took long weeks, probably 1 month or 6 weeks to hear back from them. And you know what? I was still hoping, I was still praying, which brings me to my next point. Have plan B. I started to work on my plan B. I told my employer to apply for another endorsement for me. I was gonna do other things. So it makes sense that you've done your best. You've tried to convey your situation to them that this is why I deserve for my application to be reopened. But I'm also gonna keep doing things on the side in case you decide that no, you don't want to reopen it. So have plan B. Pray, hope, and have plan B. And you know what? In my situation, it worked. If you're in the same shoes like I was that time, I really, really pray and hope it works for you. And I wish you all the best. And you know what? No matter what, your immigration does not define you. Your refusal, your rejection does not define you. Do not give up. Even if you apply for reconsideration and they say no, start all over again. If you apply and they say yes, good for you. That's good for you. But I wish you all the best. That's the end of this video, and I hope it's been able to help you. I hope it kind of gave you more information into what applying for a reconsideration after your visa has been refused is. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to like it, subscribe, and if you really like it and you feel like someone else is gonna benefit from it, you know what? Just share it. Thank you so much, guys, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye.